Hello everyone, welcome to Effective Parenting Conference. Thank you for becoming part of this conference and contributing to this noble gesture. I am also very glad that I am getting to talk to you all, meet you all, and able to contribute to this cause. I'm Dr. Gaganpreet Gill. I'm a pediatric physiotherapist and I have done masters in neurophysiotherapy. After that, I did certified neurodevelopmental therapy in pediatrics from USA. And now I'm running a page on Instagram named Connecting Milestones. It is basically to help the parents with the motor and sensory development of their little ones. So today we are going to talk about understanding infant cues and keeping a check on the normative milestones. I've covered 0 to 12 months in today's PPT. So first of all, I want to say that just like our fingerprints, all the children are unique, all the children are different. That's why don't compare your child with the other child related to either a motor or sensory milestone or emotional or social development, because every child is unique, every family is different, the circumstances are different. So that's why let them grow on their own and cover their own journey without comparing with others. Normal development is not just about head holding or sitting or crawling, standing and walking. It's much more than that. Why I'm talking about this is generally the parents come to us with a concern of delay walking or maybe not able to talk, whilst we forget about the other things, basic things like social smile, the social interaction, or the emotional control or the regulation of their child, those things. So that's why we always say that development is a big spectrum which covers so many things. Gross motor and fine motor we cover under the motor milestones. Gross motor being the walking, crawling, sitting. Fine motor being able to hold the toy in the hand or able to eat with the hand or comb and all those things. Then comes speech and language, which also have milestones. There are a particular age at which they attain those milestones. For example, monosyllables ba, 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 ma, ma, ma at the age of 6 months, or able to speak their first word, which is a relevant word, around 1 year of age. Then social and emotional, like for example, social smile at the age of 2 to 3 months. Emotional, like they are able to regulate or even tell when they are hungry by crying. Cognitive milestones, able to play, look at the shapes or understand the shapes and those things, even able to recognize parents or family members, and all those things come under all these milestones. And it's just not just about one milestone, it's about everything working together. That is why connecting milestones. Then sensory development. Now sensory system covers 8 different sensory systems which process the information which comes from the environment. Now sensory system is as important as the motor system or the other systems. Why? Because it's the combination of both which makes us understand the world, understand the environment, and then function and participate in that. So let's talk about what are they. Tactile, it is touch. Proprioceptive, it is deep touch and the joint awareness, that even if I close my eyes, I know where my hands is. Vestibular, which is the awareness of movement. If I'm moving in space, I know where my body is going, so that if it is an uneven surface, I can adjust my body, or if I have to lean forward or backward according to where I'm walking. The auditory system, able to listen, discriminate the different types of sound. That's why the child can recognize that it's the mother calling or it's the father calling. Then olfactory system, which is the system of smell. A child can recognize their mother even before they are able to see by the smell of the breast milk within the first month, because the visual system takes longer time. Visual system is one system which take actually the longest time to develop, because there are so many parts in it. Then of course able to see, and visual is such a motivating factor, because they are looking at toys, they are trying to reach for that toy, or they look at their parents, they are trying to talk to their toy, or they are trying to copy and imitate. So visual system plays a big role. Then gustatory, which is the oral system, able to suck properly, able to take the swallow properly, and those things. Then interoceptive system is inside the body, which is basically the hunger cues. They are able to feel when they are hungry, or when they have to pass the motion, they are able to feel that and pass the motion. And even the emotional regulation comes under the interoceptive system. So development in all these systems right from the start is also very important. Then the other aspects which we cover in growth and development of the child are height and weight of the child, which is age appropriate and follows the growth curve. And again, instead of comparing, see only for your child. Your pediatrician can tell you, and there are other there is a Google app for it, started by Indian Academy of Pediatrics. You can download that and compare your child's growth and height and weight according to that. If they fall within the category, there are percentiles in it from 95th to 5th percentile. It basically means that 95 percentile means that 95% of the kids are going to have this weight or height. 5th percentile means that 5% of the kids are going to have this. But again, if your child was born with a little lower weight, then if the doctor is going to check that if they are following that growth curve or not. If they are following even under it, that's when they are going to consider it underweight. But if they follow that curve within that percentile, then it's fine. Then dentition also play a big role. Head circumference, which again pediatrician check at regular intervals if it is growing according to the age or not. Then why are milestones important? Milestones are really important to know so that you understand that, okay, my child is following this thing properly at this age, and if something is not right, you can reach the right person on time if needed. Early intervention is very important. Early intervention is basically starting the therapy or starting any kind of treatment early in time. For example, if you don't understand that the child should be able to respond to their name between 5 to 7 months, and or maybe turn their head without knowing their name with the sound of mother even much earlier, then you might miss that there is some hearing issue. Because I have seen kids who were diagnosed for their hearing issues by the age of 2 years old also. Then again, if there is a delay in walking or delay in sitting, then you can reach to the right person on right time. And another thing it helps is in controlling the milestone anxiety, which is very real. So if you know the milestone, instead of comparing with the other child, you'll know that, okay, there is still time for my baby to achieve this milestone. It's okay if this baby reached there early, but my baby will also reach there. And for that, ranges and milestones are also important to know about that. There are huge wide ranges in which the child attains a milestone. For example, parents come to me talking about that my child is 1 year old and still not able to walk. But actually for walking, the milestone range is still 18 months. So it's still not late. Let them give time instead of worrying so much about it. Again, comparing, this was adapted from WHO from 2006. It might vary a little from the other milestone ranges, but you can, looking at this, you can understand that it was taken from all over the world. That's how the average was taken. The average might vary according to race and ethnicity, but you can understand that how varied the range is for achieving a milestone. Then let's talk about the normative milestones according to the age range. Newborn have their physiological flexion, which is they curl up like this. They have random movements of the hand. They have strong grasp. They have hand to hand, which is positional. They are still not have the voluntary control for it. Again, hand to mouth is also positional. There is side lying position, which can help in taking hand to the mouth if they want to. The tongue rests on the palate, which helps shape up the palate also. Pluses happen, helps in keeping the mouth closed. Mouth closed is also very important. Why? Because the voluntary control will be better. The tongue will be resting on the palate, helping in shaping up the palate, and also it will avoid the infections in the babies. They have visual regard of the environment, but that is around 15 to 30 centimeter away. So it is best if you look at your child closer, or you keep them in your lap and talk to them, keeping that closer. Then they have strong gag. They have suckling. Suckling is basically not still able to control with the oral structure like the lips. instead using the tongue more, and which is a reflexive movement of the tongue forward and backward which happens, and they use that to suckle on the breast or the bottle. They are mostly nose breathers. They cry for their demands. They recognize the breast milk smell. They are alert to sounds, as you could see in this baby. When there was a sound, he just squirmed a little. Then 1 to 2 months, they are relatively hypotonic. What does hypotonic means? Hypotonic means kind of floppy, kind of a little looser in the body. Earlier they were fully tight with the way they were in the womb, and gradually they start losing that tightness, and that's why they are called relatively hypotonic. They can hold their head up to 45 degree, though it is very brief holding. Then they have more purposeful hand and leg movements, yet they are random, but wider ranges because the tightness is gradually losing. Then they begin cooing sounds. Then they cry with more variations. Then they track from periphery to midline, and the suckling still continues as the oral control is still not there. You can see this baby tracking the mother going from one side to other. They may lose suck, swallow, breath coordination, which is basically they are able to suck, swallow, breathe all together in the ratio of 1:1:1, which is reflex, which is not voluntary. And gradually when they start developing that voluntary control, then they might lose this coordination, and that's why you might see that milk is coming out of the lips, or they might have increased colic in this age. 6 to 8 weeks is the time generally they have more colic, and they might cry for no reason at all. This could be one of the reasons. They are belly breathers. They start giving social smile around 2 months of age. Then then comes 3 to 5 months, and there is more functional head control in this age. They maintain symmetrical postures, that is, they play in midline, bring both the hands together. You can see how the baby could bring the hands together, go to the side. He's a little older than 3 months. He's around 4 months. Then they start tucking their chin. Now chin tuck helps develop these muscles, the front of the neck muscles, because earlier on tummy the back of the muscles are working more when they are trying to look up, and these are getting lengthened, and gradually when chin tuck comes, then these muscles start working, and that's why the full head control comes by 5 months of age, though the head controls starts around 3 months. Like they can look up easily, you hold them up, then they are able to maintain their head up. Then they start playing with the knees around 4 months when they are on their back, and they start playing with their feet around 5 months of age. And that actually playing with the feet or playing with the knees helps develop the tummy muscles. So that's why it is along with the tummy time, playing on the back, playing on the side is also very important, because it helps in development of the holistic approach, like all the muscles then start working together. Then they start bridging. Bridging is basically pushing on the feet and then lifting their bums up, and some of the babies might start going upward when they are in the crib, start moving like that also. If your baby, instead of going into crawling position, is working more like this, then just avoid it. Like, don't facilitate it. Don't stop the child if they are doing on their own, but try to facilitate them coming on their tummy. You can keep a towel roll, you can just make them lie on your hand or on your leg, so that they are easily able to maintain that pushing on the hands around 5 months of age. You might see this bridging also coming around 5 months of age. Then they roll to sides. Then around 4 to 5 months they start rolling from tummy to back, around 5 to 6 back to tummy. Though it can be opposite also. First it can be like back to tummy is coming and then tummy to back. The full control of rolling comes around 6 to 7 months of age. Though it is always preferable if rolling comes before sitting, because rolling helps develop one, vestibular system, which is the movement system, other, the trunk muscles. So that's why they'll be able to sit more erect or more up, which is going to help them later also. So you can facilitate rolling. There are various techniques you can use, like putting them on inclined plane or just showing them toys so that they can roll over, removing their hand so that they are easily able to roll over. Those things you can do. Then they prop on their forearm around 4 months, and they start pushing on their hands around 5 months of age. They also lift their legs and arms off surface like this, and this is called Lendo reflex. This is basically preparing for that sitting also later. You can see baby pushing on the hand.